In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the seasons of manifestation and showing you exactly which season you may be in and exactly what you can do to create what you want in your life. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing something new, a new idea where I've infused this idea that I've got from a different area. This a lot of times, or the way I heard it was talked about from Tony Robbins. He was talking about it in the form of business. Every business will have its seasons. And I was actually watching, I think this relates perfectly with that of manifestation. And I had something happen the other day that really showed this to me. So I'm going to share this with you. Now, Tony Robbins, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a public speaker and like a life transformation coach. I was at one of his seminars and he was talking about the different seasons of business. And recently I was watching one of his interviews on YouTube, and he was having a coaching session with somebody that won some business contest, and she got like a free session from him, and normally it's very expensive. So it was like showing behind the scenes of that. I thought it was really cool. And one of the first questions he asked everyone that he talked to in this coaching was, what season's your business in? That's what he would say, something like that. Like, what season's your business in? It's like, season? What season is my business in? And the way he explained it at this Date with Destiny event, is he talked a little bit about it, is the 4 different seasons of a business. And it relates perfectly with understanding the different cycles. Think of everything as a cycle. We have a life cycle. The earth has a cycle of the different seasons it moves through. And in the same way, our manifestations have a cycle that they run through. Our visions have a cycle. And this cycle will very often go with that of these 4 seasons, because we have this connection between us and reality, and our inner reality and our outer reality. This is something that is, in a way, like as above, so below. So the thing that this helps with this too is sometimes people will beat themselves up. They will say, why aren't things manifesting the way I want? They will compare themselves to other people and feel like, why is that person in a certain way and then I am not? And sometimes it can have to do with our belief systems and the way we move through things. But sometimes there could also be just different cycles of our life that we are moving through, and we can just become aware of it. So first off, I had a buddy of mine come to me the other day and we were talking, and this buddy of mine was going through kind of a stagnant area of manifestation. He felt like there were certain things that weren't happening as fast as he would like, and he was looking at somebody else that did what he did, and he was in a way seeing and feeling inadequate because he felt like he wasn't living up to his potential, and he felt like this person was really shining, and it reflected back to him that, why am I not in that same way? I have the same intention, I'm putting energy into it. And what I could acknowledge is that this other person that he was comparing himself to was in more of a summer type. Okay, so there's the 4 seasons. There is that of the spring, the summer, the fall, the winter. And what was happening is he was comparing his winter to that of someone else's summer. And let me explain a little bit about what those are. But when I showed this to him, he then started feeling completely different about it. He stopped judging himself so much. He stopped assuming that he always had to have the pedal to the metal, and it made it so much easier to understand. Now let's talk about this in the form of this different seasons, so you can understand the different seasons of manifestation and understand that there's a vision that you have towards something you want to experience in your life. And that this vision that you have has a certain cycle it will be run through. And I'll share with you how that worked in my life as well. So we have that first off of spring. So spring is one of the first stages of the vision of the manifestation and even of the business. Spring, when it comes to manifestation, is the spawning of the idea. So it's the idea that you have. It is the intention that you set. The spring is that of the decision that you make about something you want to create, the bringing forth of a new idea. Now for me, I had this vision of me being on full-time on YouTube. I'm sure you heard of the story before. And when I had that idea, it was a simple idea as I was working that 9-to-5 job I didn't like. I was walking around the house I was in, and I said, you know what? I'm going to make videos every single day until I'm a full-time YouTuber no matter what. That was the spring then began the moment I made that choice. And when I made that choice, then I started to develop a strategy. So a strategy. Now the strategy for me was I'm going to make videos every single day. I'm going to learn which videos for me are doing better, what videos the audience wants to see more of. I'm going to learn more about the marketing side of it, of how to make thumbnails. And I started to learn and develop the strategy towards spring. Then I started to take action. So that was the spring. Many people may be in the spring idea of their manifestation. And the spring for you may be you develop a certain strategy, you deciding what you want. This is why it's so important to have a vision. Be aware of the vision that you have. Is that Owen? I don't know. The vision you have is important for this because that's going to determine the direction you go in. Now, that's the spring. That's when we have this idea and we start to set an intention for it. We develop a strategy. We have the vision and we start. Spring, you start. And think about it. Spring, you have that of the plants begin to grow. And in that, then we have that of summer. Summer, things are hotter. In summer, this is when we start to take massive action and we start to embody that. So for me, I was in spring when I had the idea, and I'd say about 2 or 3 weeks in, maybe a month in, I was starting to be in summer. I was taking massive action. I was implementing. There you go. Now we know. Implementing, not important. Implementing these ideas. I was taking action. I was figuring things out. I would start making different videos and I saw which ones the audience and people that were watching it were most receptive to. And for me, that was the summer of manifestation. So maybe in the same way, you might be in that. You might be working towards that. You may say, oh, I want this kind of job. I have this idea. And the summer for you may be starting to work towards that. Maybe you getting that job and then working in that job and seeing how you do. But in general, that's the summer. Now we have that of fall. In fall, things are working. Things work. We have, that's when my channel started to grow. I started to then become abundant. Then I started to see that, hey, I don't have to have this 9-to-5 job anymore. I have things that are working. This thing can sustain me. This becomes like, remember, all of these, your manifestations are living entities. Think of it like that. And you need to feed it. Feed it energy, feed it vision, feed it high vibration. Now fall, things are starting to work. This is where you start to manifest things. And things are just working well for you. And then you're maintaining. And when you're maintaining, then it's like you got that momentum going. And that momentum will fuel you. So in general, that is fall. Then we have winter. And in winter, this is where we do self-reflection. Can you see that? Yeah, kind of. Self-reflection. This is where maybe you need to regroup. There's not as much going on. You have time to regroup to decide, how do I want to switch things up? We are always evolving. So when it comes to our manifestations, there may be, and this happens, I'll say this even in my own life. I've gotten to not to be cocky or anything, but after making a certain amount of abundance, moving into my dream house, and seeing all of that, I realized that it is not everything. It is not what you think it will be. And it's still amazing. I still love this space. I was in Airbnbs for 3 months. I couldn't really make videos as loud as I want to make them. I can really express myself now because I'm not worried about a condo that has a wall connected to someone else or someone else, sleeping. And because I'm in this bigger house, I can now express myself more. I enjoy it. But I will say there's a time when you start to self-reflect. What is the next stage? What is the next evolution? When you make daily videos and you realize you've been making daily videos on similar ideas, you then say, how can I have to constantly reinvent myself. So winter for me, sometimes a winter for a business could be a business redefining itself or selling. So it could be you move on to a bigger manifestation. However, with my buddy, I was showing him that, hey, this person that you're comparing yourself is in summer. They've got a lot of things working. They're in fall. They got a lot of things working. They figured things out, and they got a lot of momentum. You might be in winter, and just this is a time for you to self-reflect, to see what you really want. How can you re-optimize yourself? So for every single one of us, we are in a certain season of manifestation. We are either in spring with the idea, we are starting to implement that, seeing the strategy of how that can work. We have things already working and we are redefining it, or we're completely self-reflecting and seeing how we can reinvent ourselves. But every single section of this season has a purpose. And the key to this is not beating yourself up, and it is not comparing yourself to other people. It is understanding that you are 100% okay where you are, and it is okay at this level. Now, the things you do to get to the next level, not that you necessarily need to get to the next level, but if you find that you're getting stuck in spring with your idea and your strategy and you're not implementing it, make the choice to take action. Make the choice to move in that direction, to live it, to embody it. Then you start to bridge it. Then if you're in summer, you could start to find the systems to make things consistently work. You could start to relax a little bit more. You can still take action, but you could do it from a different energy. Sometimes there could be extremes of each of these, right? Extreme summer could be you're extremely taking so much action, you're burning yourself out. So maybe it's a little bit of balance you need. Spring, it could be you're so much strategizing in the idea that you're not actually implementing your vision. This isn't just about business. This is about your vision. The most important thing for you is to have a vision for what you want to experience, something you are moving towards. And when you have something you are moving towards, what ends up happening is then your energy is going in a certain direction, and then you can move through these different seasons. So the key is the awareness as where you are, and then you can continue to move. And throughout this process, you'll find that the benefit of knowing this is that when you know it, then you can move through it and you can let it be okay of whatever level you are at. So this is about raising your vibe. This is about understanding, because the vibe, think about your vision. The higher vibration and energy you put into your vision, the more that thing is going to grow. It's almost like the water. You got the seasons of manifestation, and you got the water that you are planting the seeds of the ideas, and you are watering it with high vibrational energy, with attention. Your attention is your water when we're thinking about this in the form of growing a plant. And you want to pay more attention to it. You want to create better boundaries. When you're not pruning it, when you're not paying attention to it, when you're not nurturing it, it's going to suffer. Doesn't mean you have to do it 24/7. You know, I'm making this video right now, but I'm not going to be thinking about this video for the next 8 hours after I make it. I'm going to do it, be 100% focused on it, and then move on. So share below what season of manifestation you are in. I'd love to know. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, peace, much love, and namaste.